Today we are talking about eating for $1 a day. We had Ashlei enter our grocery budget audit. If you guys would like to have your grocery budget audited, please go to the link in the description below and we will be happy to have you on the show. But you don't have to be on the show. You can just send us pictures like Ashlei did today if you would like. She is in Salem, Oregon, and she says she spends about $50 a month on her grocery bill. Actually, 45 is what she decided later. Her biggest problem is planning ahead for times when she's unable to cook a meal. And she feels like she has a good system, but she would like new ideas, debt-free and always have been if selected. Oh, yes, debt-free and always have been. Okay, so here we go. Or not. Okay, there we go. It says, "Hi, Tara. I just uploaded the pictures of my cupboards, food storage, extra duplicate items I don't keep in my kitchen cupboards due to very limited space. The fridge and freezer. Someone is borrowing space in my fridge at the moment, so I only showed the shelves that I have my food. Oops, didn't realize the graphics would be in the way. I always keep a stocked pantry, so when I shop, I only stock up on deals, then mostly eat out of my pantry. These two receipts are my grocery spending from the past month. I go to grocery outlet to get whatever good finds I see, steep discounts, clearance, markdowns when items are approaching the best buy date. And then I use Winco to supplement what I still need." All right, let's see. Then she says she goes to Walmart instead of Winco if she's in the area. "I have to really know my prices when I go grocery outlet because some things are deals, but many are priced even higher than Winco, Walmart, and other regular grocery stores. I don't live in a cheap area." She lives in Oregon. "And this strategy allows me to still keep my grocery spending low. I started tracking all types of my spending in July 2017 and have averaged $45 a month on the groceries during that time." All right, guys, it is time to vote. Tell me by typing 1 if you could eat for $45 a month, and type 2 if you think that is absolutely nuts. I don't know. I think, Mom, you could do it. I think you could do it. Okay. Now, she says she's saving money in all areas because I'm getting ready to purchase a house, which is expensive in my area, and then we'll be starting the process to adopt, also costly. I have managed to remain debt-free throughout my life, even while experiencing poverty and low wages. Once I own a house, I plan to start a garden. Wow, we're about evenly split if people think $45 a month is crazy or if it's a good deal.
We got a lot of viewers that do really good in the frugal area. You guys do good.
I'm pretty impressed. Okay, now we're going to start by looking at her pantry. Now, if you guys want to do a grocery audit, you don't have to do videos. You can just send us pictures like Ashlei has done. And guys, also, if you don't think there's anywhere you could cut and you just want to show people how you're able to do it, that's great too. Because like Ashlei, $45 a month, I don't know if I can help you very much because honestly, that's pretty darn tootin' good.
But 2 things that she said in her thing. First of all, she knows her prices.
Yep.
That's a big deal. She knows her prices. And then the other one was, I already forgot it.
She goes to different stores. So
that's good, and she keeps track of what she spends. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
Half the time, you don't know your prices, what's a good deal and what's not a good deal. And you don't pay attention to what you're buying. You maybe just glance at your receipt a little bit when you go out, but you don't really pay attention.
She is shopping for one person, Margaret. All right, guys, today we are having our Labor Day sale, 35% off our Dining on a Dime cookbooks. Volume 1 and Volume 2 are 2 separate cookbooks with totally different recipes, but they go together kind of like an encyclopedia. And our gluten-free, dairy-free edition is the green one that is totally gluten-free, dairy-free. If you're like me, I have to be gluten-free, dairy-free, and I don't know how to get me back, dear.
You've lost us.
I've lost me here. Thank you. And if you guys want our daily planner, it is 10% off right now. Start the new school year. Fall. A lot of people get organized in fall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's undated. You can start right now and get everything organized. Okay. Thank you, my dear, for saving me. All right, here we go. So let's look at her pantry. She's got, it looks like some chickpeas and maybe some rice and some beans and some tomatoes and maybe oatmeal. That's pretty typical. And then she's got some more tomatoes, some coconut milk. I can't quite tell what some of those are. Maybe cornstarch in there. These are good ingredients, so she can make, meals on hand without having to go buy a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, let's see. Then we have, broccoli stir fry. It looks like some dairy-free cheese and a few things like that. Okay, that's pretty typical, normal ingredients, looking good. Applesauce, dairy-free yogurt, some bouillon, spaghetti sauce, some coconut milk maybe. Okay. Now, I would say that if she happened to get some free apples like I did from a friend last year, she could make her own applesauce. So there's one way she could save if she wanted to make her own applesauce. But honestly, she's doing so good that really, if you don't feel like making your own applesauce, I wouldn't make your own applesauce.
She's on target.
Yeah, so. I mean, you're doing really good. Okay, next we have garlic and, oops, I went too fast, and lemon juice. Now, what I would do is use garlic powder. If she wants to have garlic powder on hand, then when she runs out of garlic, she won't have to worry about it. But that would be one way she could save. I mean, really, I'm only finding like $5 a month that she could maybe save on her grocery bill. And that's really pushing it. So she really did a good job.
She's a perfect example that you can do this.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted to show her, because she's a perfect example. Now, breadcrumbs, yet again, you could go ahead and make your own breadcrumbs.
Especially if you find that you have crust. Some people don't like to eat crust, so you can make breadcrumbs from that. Or you have like a heel in the bread that you don't like to use that. You can do that, stuff like that.
But other than that, macaroni, those types of things, all that was in there, I think that's perfectly fine. Guys, please type 1 if you make your own breadcrumbs, and type 2 if you think it's a waste of time. I don't know, Mom. Do you think it's a waste of time?
Well, I don't use breadcrumbs, period. So that's why I hesitate.
Yeah. Yes, dear.
Somebody was pointing out that the planner said it was out of stock.
Oh,
so I better say that, and then I just turned it back on.
Okay, the planner is not out of stock, guys.
Tell me just adjusted it though.
We forgot to put in the number of planners from our last time that we ordered.
So it's going to be adjusted now.
So it's in stock now. So if you guys want the planner, please go grab it. Okay, so everybody is saying, wow, a lot of people make their own breadcrumbs. So,
and really, if you've got time, I would do that, because there's a lot of people that have dry bread. And like I said, the crust, the heels, they don't maybe want to just eat for something. Yeah. I eat the heels. I eat all my bread, so I don't have leftover bread. Yep. But if you do, that would be perfect. Or to make croutons, breadcrumbs and croutons.
That's pretty much what I do too. Okay, so next she's got her flour and a quinoa, and looks like maybe popcorn. She doesn't have microwave popcorn, guys. She's got regular popcorn. And if you guys need recipes, Dining on a Dime Volume 1 here, we've got how to make popcorn, how to make kettle corn, and all the popcorn seasonings too. So you can have those yummy popcorns that you like.
And the popcorn seasonings are really good for this time of year, for the different parties, having kids over from school for different things. It's a cheap way to fill up kids, real easy.
Yep, it is.
Or games.
Yep. All right. And so let's see. Next, she's got rotel and tomato paste. It looks like chia seeds, maybe relish, garbanzo beans, some few canned goods. That's looking all pretty good to me. And next she's got more popcorn, and this must be another direction. So maybe, I don't know if that's cracked wheat or what. Oh, I haven't had cracked wheat cereal for so long.
You used to eat it a lot, didn't
That
you?
was so good.
Yeah,
I
she used
forgot
to
about
love it.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I loved that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now I'm sad. Now I'm going to have to go get some millet.
Are you
And
allowed to eat it?
No, I can't, but I'll have to. It's still not the same though.
Mm-mm.
That was really good stuff. Where did we eat that at?
What?
Was it Grandma and Grandpa Cooper's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Springfield.
My dad's parents used to have it. That's where, or was it Grandma and Grandpa Schuler?
Grandma and Grandpa Schuler.
Oh, my great grandparents used to eat it. Oh,
Mhm.
that's where I knew it from. Okay. Yeah, that stuff was good. Okay. So next we have more tomato sauce, canned goods, and it looks like rice on the bottom. That's all really good. Then more canned goods. It looks like more spices maybe. Yeah, all of her spices. Oh, she's got saffron. Oh, we're going to be talking about that later in the show. But if she can do that for $45, I'm pretty impressed because saffron's super expensive.
Mhm.
Like, I think that little tiny thing is like $15 or $20. It's super, super
Yeah,
expensive.
it is expensive.
So that's impressive. I have to say that's pretty impressive. Okay, so here's her explanation. She says her grocery outlet receipt. The barista edition were containers of dairy-free milk. She only buys non-dairy-free milks when they are $1 or less. I must admit there is envy in my heart for that. I stock up on mini when they are even cheaper. I can't imagine them being cheaper. That is wonderful. Because these were not at my stock up price, I only bought 2. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly I use this for cereal or granola and occasionally in a recipe. She got 3 packages of oatmeal for 79 cents. She got 20-pound bag of rice for $6.99. This will last her a number of months. I keep it stored in mason jars for easy access and freshness. Box of cereal is 79 cents. I don't regularly buy cereal. I decided to get a box since it was a low price. Hey, I'm good with all those prices.
Yeah.
I think those are really, really good prices.
Really good.
So guys, if you are loving these grocery audits, would you give me a thumbs up in the YouTube? Right underneath our video, there's a little thumbs up or a thumbs down, but would you give us a thumbs up, please? Because it helps the algorithm know that you guys like this and helps push it out so we can do more of these. All right, next we have chicken nuggets for $4.99, vegetarian chicken nuggets for $4.99. She doesn't regularly buy these because of the price. She decided to buy a bag. They have bags of dairy-free cheese for 57 cents. Once again, I have envy in my heart. Okay, we had grocery outlet when we were in Idaho. And the prices were okay, but they weren't great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're much better now than they used to be 25 years ago when we lived there because we rarely shop there actually.
No, we didn't.
We did occasionally, but and here's a little tidbit. That was Mike's first job in Idaho.
They were only seconds back then.
They were only seconds back then. They didn't have fresh stuff. Yeah.
One thing too, if you'll note, she's buying herself treats once in a while.
Yeah.
Even with this low grocery bill, she's still allowing herself treats. People act like you can't have any treats or anything.
It's ridiculous.
By saving money.
Ridiculous.
So, and they really are treats too,
Yeah.
because you don't get them that often. So they're more special to you.
Yeah, they are. All right, guys, our Dining Iodine cookbooks are 35% off for our Labor Day sale, Volume 1 and Volume 2. They're totally separate, but they have all different recipes. There's no repeated recipes. Well, there's 2, only because when I updated this one, I didn't have the space to put the variations that I wanted for muffins and banana bread. So that's the only 2 out of 800 recipes and tips that are the same. And then the green one is our dairy-free, gluten-free cookbook. And then our planners are also 10% off and back in stock like magic now.
Thanks to Mike.
Thanks to Mike. Yes, Miracle Mike. Okay. Now let's see what we got for next. Okay. She has bags of dairy-free cheese for 57 cents. She bought 22 bags. Yes.
Very good.
Each bag will make 2 pizzas. I'll use these mostly for pizza, also for quesadillas, grilled cheese, sandwiches, etc. I will make the pizza from scratch once a week, and the cheese will last quite some time, probably around 9 months. I have them stored in the freezer. Now, yes.
Well, I was just going to say on the cheeses now, if you don't have freezer room, I just bought some cheese and the expiration date isn't until like, I think it's February. So you can store cheese a long time in just the refrigerator. So,
unless it's my refrigerator where it's not working and all my cheese just spoiled. Thanks, Whirlpool.
No. But, you can keep it for a long time. So what I'm doing now is, I'll start in probably 2 weeks or so. I will be stocking up on cheese when it's on sale for my Christmas cheeses that I need for my Christmas things. So,
Yep. All right, let's see. So there's some of her cheese that she has stored up and more stir fry. It looks like a few juices, and that's about all I can tell in that picture. All right, let's see. Now, did you guys know you can make your own homemade pizza, 2-ingredient dough? This is the recipe in our Dining on a Dime volume number 2. It's super easy. And I don't know how to tell you. It's just so easy. Don't buy $50 takeout pizza for as quick as it is.
Well, I'm not sure about this recipe, but you could make up a couple of these, couldn't you? And freeze them?
Yeah, well,
Does
of the
this
yeast
freeze?
one, this one doesn't freeze quite as well.
Okay, because I didn't know
you
this
could.
recipe. But
I don't know. It might freeze just fine, actually.
You could try it and try one and see if it freezes. But usually on most of the pizza recipes, make up, 4, 5, or 6 if you've got room in your freezer, and then they'll be almost as convenient. Everybody wants to make these big, huge batches of freezer meals for a month. But if you do something just as simple as making up your pizza crust ahead of time, you've already got your hamburger or sausage cooked, how long would it take you to throw a pizza together?
Yeah. I mean, not very long. And Tanya says our pizza crust recipe in our Dining on a Dime volume 1 is the best. Thank you so much. So that's how you make our 2-ingredient, guys. It's super easy. Guys, type 1 if you make homemade pizza, please. Or type 2 if it is store-bought for you. Now, I will say I haven't made homemade pizza for a long time. I need to make some. But through the whole remodel and all that, we just really weren't baking at all.
You really
we
couldn't
weren't
very well.
really
Yeah,
doing
you didn't
anything.
have
So
stove.
it looks like a lot of people make homemade pizza. Well, that's pretty cool. I'm impressed. All right. She said the bags of dairy-free cream cheese, the packages of flavored dairy-free cream cheese she got for 3 at 77 cents, 1 at 99 cents. I have never seen it that low. That is great. I don't regularly buy this, but got them due to the price. Good. 4 cartons of dairy-free yogurt for 25 cents each. That's great. Don't regularly buy this either. I don't think you could make homemade dairy-free yogurt for that price. I don't think you could.
You couldn't.
Yeah, I think that's great. So her total price was $35.93. The receipt showed, let me get it on here. The receipt showed that she saved $162.18. I believe it.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I mean, I believe it. So
she's doing good.
All right. Now, let's see. In her fridge, we have more yogurt. Now, she said that she's sharing her refrigerator with someone. So she only has a couple of shelves. Looks like normal stuff. This is the Winco receipt. She bought a large bag of yeast. The excess is stored in the freezer for freshness. Very good. But what I loved was it was only $3.28 for the yeast.
Wow.
I think we need to make a trip to Billings to go get some yeast.
Yeah.
So I need to look at that because the cheapest I found it is like $6 for a bag. And I thought I was pretty good. But we don't go to Billings that often. So Winco's the only place that we have.
And, I hope by showing these different people their receipts and stuff where they get the things, that if you live by a Winco, then you'll think, just like Tar did, maybe I should go get yeast there. That'll give you ideas of where you can buy some things maybe cheaper than where you're buying them now.
Yeah. So like next time I'm going to know when I go to Winco to look for yeast.
Yeah. So we hope this helps you with that too.
All right. And then her romaine lettuce was $1.48, which is really good too. So I was impressed. $4.76 for that. All right. She said she does forage outside for blackberries and blueberries.
When? Oh, I know. We used to do that too.
We used to do that in Idaho. The coworker has given her extra zucchini for gardening for this month. She already has excess from the previous months because each month she just stocks up on certain things that are priced well.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be discussing this a little bit more, a little bit later. Yeah. All right. Okay, so then she said this is some of the things that she has. She has tomato products. She's got dried beans, lentils, black-eyed peas, quinoa, oatmeal or oats, frozen fruits, veggies, spices, variety of flours, canned veggies, popcorn, baking supplies, cornmeal, mesa, potato flakes. Then she also has... her food challenge is having her biggest challenge is having food when she's in a hurry. I'm working a lot right now to be saving for a house. To help with this, I cook meals in large portions so that I have some I can freeze and enough to last for multiple meals during the week. I also make bean plus grain plus veggie flavor sauce, spice or sauce, batch 1 or 2 times a week to be able to pack work lunches quickly, or if I just want to heat something up if I'm exhausted after work. She then says her biggest challenge is sometimes she has a hard time thinking of meal ideas. I try hard to avoid food waste, but I'm not always successful because I'm a single person. I'd love ideas for any of these challenges. Now, here's the thing though. She goes on to tell me that
Really?
these are her foods that she eats a lot of. Soups, noodle soups, veggie soups, black bean soups, bean chilies, pasta with cauliflower Alfredo sauce, pasta with carrot, cashew, mac and cheese type sauce, pasta with sun-dried tomato sauce, spaghetti, enchiladas, tacos, burrito rolls, stir-fried, bean plus grain plus veggie plus flavor. We do that all the time too. 1 to 2 batches of this variety combos a week. It's great to have on hand for quick lunches and meals. Then she also has fried rice, homemade veggie patties, veggie burgers, pasta salad, falafel, I don't know how you say that, falafel, sweet and sour tofu, veggie sandwich, cream cheese with veggie sandwich, cream cheese with jelly sandwich, peanut butter and jelly, baked potatoes, baked beans, mashed potatoes. And then she also has veggie barbecue meatloaf with peanuts. And then she has peanut sauce, probably like over chicken or something, or if it's a veggie chicken, grilled cheese, quesadillas, hummus, muffins, oatmeal smoothies, curries, beans, rice dishes, zucchini, cornbread, or zucchini bread and popcorn. Now, I have to tell you, I don't think I can really help you. Well, I mean, she had like 45 or 50 different types of things she's eating there. You've got a good variety. It sounds like you've got it down.
That means even if you just cooked one different one every day, that'd be a month and a half worth of meals. But what might help you a little bit is you wrote the list there. Sometimes having that list written down like that, so you can't think straight is what happens. You can't think, what should I have today? Where if you have it written down and you just go look at the list, it's easier to pick something off because you know what you have on hand. Another thing that might help a little bit was I would divide the list up into main dishes, and then like you have the baked potato, rice, and the sides.
Breakfast versus
side
lunches,
dishes, and then maybe like the breads, like the muffins or tortillas or something like that. Divide them up into those categories. That way you can mix and match much easier. And when you see it written down, you won't have to be using your already tired brain to try to figure out what to have. So I would just divide that great list that you had up and then just have it hanging up someplace on, or notebook or something, and just look at it then.
Guys, give us a thumbs up or type number 1 if you guys think she's got a good list.
I think it's a great list. She's got such a variety, such a big variety and everything.
She does. Okay, so next she says she eats, she will have oatmeal for breakfast. Sometimes she makes a breakfast smoothie using oats, water, chia seeds, flax, cocoa powder, cinnamon, frozen banana. Yum.
Mhm.
I also make pancakes, muffins with some fruits, make some granola, non-dairy milk, tofu, egg, and veggie scramble, crepes, hash browns, breakfast burritos. Primarily American, Italian, Indian, Mexican. I am mostly plant-based, no meat, chicken, seafood, dairy, only eat eggs rarely. I try to mostly cook from scratch for health reasons. I do not overeat, and I have maintained the same size since high school. My main snacks are fruit, popcorn, trail mix when it's a good price, nuts when they're a good price, applesauce, muffins, and hummus.
That's absolutely perfect. I mean, and this
Okay.
goes to show.
I was
It
gonna
sounds like
say.
she's like a vegetarian.
Vegan, it says. She
Or
sounds like
vegan.
she's vegan.
Vegan.
All
Okay.
you vegans
Everybody
who keep
hollers.
emailing me.
Or the people that say you can't eat healthy, it's too expensive to eat healthy. All the above.
I'm not kidding. Every single day, we get no less than one, but usually it's 2 or 3 people. Well, you can't do that if you eat a healthy plant-based diet.
Mhm.
She just proved you can do it for $45 a month.
Mhm.
That is $1 and some change a day for her to eat
Mhm.
healthy.
Yeah. It's just an excuse to spend and
It's
buy
an
what
excuse.
you want. You know, as long as you convince yourself that you can't do it, then you giving yourself
just an
permission
excuse.
to go ahead and spend that money.
Letitia says, did she say anything about eating berries? Yes, she said she forages
Yeah,
for
she
berries
did.
and gets a lot. And we used to live in Idaho, right next to Oregon, have family in Oregon. And let me tell you, you can forage a lot in Oregon.
The berries then
It's
was
great.
just like we died. What did we get? Did we get like how many buckets of blackberries that
We
time?
got a lot. My freezer was full.
Yeah, we didn't know
Yeah.
better. And we picked all these huge, like 5-gallon buckets of
We
berries.
We froze them. I made jelly. That was the last time I made jelly. And
We had to put them up right away and everything didn't. But yeah, you can just walk along the road and get berries.
Mackenzie says, I'm vegan and I love you and have all your cookbooks. Thank you. She says we are right.
Oh,
Could
good.
you say that again, please?
There's another one, though. See, we have a lot of viewers that have been with us for a while, and they're doing this. They're actually doing this.
I'm not trying to be a dork, but if you guys could see the hateful comments we get from these people who tell us this is just not possible, it makes me absolutely livid because it is possible.
Because
you
for
just
every
don't want
one
to.
of you that say that, we've got like 10 that say you
even
can.
under the median. Hello, guys. They say we're plant-based and spend $200 a month for a family of 4 with 2 teenage sons.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, don't give me that baloney. Don't give me that baloney.
Yeah.
All right, guys, our Dining on a Dime cookbooks are on sale for 35% off. This is the last week of our sale. Volume 1 and Volume 2 are totally separate cookbooks, but you can use them together like an encyclopedia. If you're going to start somewhere, start with Volume 1. And then our gluten-free, dairy-free edition right here, if you need gluten-free, if you eat gluten-free, dairy-free like me, and our undated planner, over 400 pages, 365 days to help you get organized. It's 10% off. Also, all right, now the last of her comments here. She said she drinks exclusively water. When she feels like something different, she makes lemonade using lemon juice or she makes hot cocoa. She doesn't drink alcohol. She doesn't smoke. She doesn't use drugs. She doesn't like coffee, and she never buys pop. Right there, she's probably saving $20 a month.
Yeah.
At least.
I always say
$20 a month.
1/3 of your grocery bill goes to drinks.
Mm-hmm.
If you just check and look at the milk that you use for cocoa or in something, creamer, coffee, tea, everything.
Yeah. And for all the comments I'm going to get, guys, I have nothing against if you want to eat a vegan or vegetarian diet. I don't care.
That's not the point.
Actually,
just don't comment to me that you can't do it because you can.
you have a number of vegans who are saying how much they love you in the book, and
Thank you.
reading on those prices too.
And that's one thing we had years ago. Somebody that was a vegan, and she was so upset with the book because she said, "There's not one thing in here that I can eat," and yet we have.
And the very next day, we got a comment from a vegan saying, "This is the best cookbook ever. I can adapt these recipes so easily to my diet."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Yeah." Okay. So, Ashlei, honestly, I thought this was going to be a pretty short.
Shame we don't have some
Yeah.
kind of a trophy or something.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a pretty short show because we have a whole lot more we're going to talk about, actually.
Yeah.
Because mom eats for $20 a week, give or take. And we're going to address that a little bit on the eating for $1 a day type meal plans. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. But really, Ashlei, I think you're doing a really good job.
You're doing great.
I honestly don't have hardly any more ideas for you. I think you're doing really super good pre-batch cooking. I think you're just working super hard to be getting that money saved up. And so you're just going to have to realize that during this time while you're trying to save that up, it's going to be more stressful. Just try to keep it simpler. And
if it's easier for this time period until you get your house, you may be overwhelmed too because you have such a big list of so many things. Mm-hmm. So you might write down 6 things that you can fix really quick and then may have to use them over and over again. But just think of that. This is just for a period of time. It's not like you're going to have to eat like this forever, the 6 things, or whatever.
Yeah.
So you might narrow it down because sometimes you can get overwhelmed with too much variety, too many ideas, and you can't think too. So,
all right. So we are going to talk about what mom eats for $20 a week. Are you ready, Mom?
I am not ready.
So,
oh dear, I don't know what's so fascinating about my eating.
Okay, that didn't work. Sorry about that. Let's try this. Okay, so when we did this video, was it 10 days ago or so? I think it was next to the last video, I think, before I came back. So 2 weeks ago, maybe. All right, when we did this video, holy schmoly, did we get a backlash. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and address some of those comments. Are you guys ready? Are you ready, dear?
Sure.
All right. Mr. Control Patrol back here is going to be on the comments quick because I know we're going to be saying some things that people are not going to be happy with. All right.
Can I say, I don't know. I think I'll say this real quick right here. Tara called me and we were getting the comments, some really interesting ones. And she said, were you going to answer it? She was supposed to be on her sabbatical still, and I said, well, yeah, I was going to answer it. But I said, I'm giving the viewers about an hour or so because they're so sweet. They always jump in and protect us when somebody jumps in with a really kind of not so nice, comment. You guys are so sweet to us because then you jump in and you start hollering, well, Jill doesn't do this.
Thank you for defending my honor.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say is thank you for defending me.
For my elder abuse.
You guys are so sweet on that. So I waited and sure enough, you guys started popping on there and I was just chuckling to myself. I thought, thank you guys. So
if you guys want a grocery audit, the link is in the description below and in the comments. We are auditing anyone who wants to be audited pretty much. And if you have sent in an audit request, I have emailed everyone back. I haven't turned away anybody yet. So I've sent everyone back. So check your spam filter if you have not heard from me.
Before we start, I want to say one more thing about Ashlei that I was very impressed with. She had little enough food that she could see what she had, and it was organized enough that if she opened the cupboard, she could see what she knew what she had in those cabinets and in her freezer, in the refrigerator, which you've got to do that. You've got to know what she had. But she didn't have so little that she wasn't prepared in case there was an emergency. She had the perfect balance, enough to see what she had. And a lot of you need to maybe do that with your stuff. Is I keep a section of food, 2 cabinets with food in my kitchen. That's my regular food I use. Then my prepping food.
We're talking about that.
I know, but it's in a separate area. So you've got to be able to see your food is what I'm wanting to say, because you're overbuying, and you're replacing stuff that you already have. So she had hers just the perfect balance.
Yep. All right. Here we go, because we're going to be talking about that. $20 a week. What does she eat? So Pamela wants to know, is this updated for August 2023? Yes, Pamela from Colorado. I know Pamela. It is updated for August 2023. That is still what mom spends, and it is, her grocery budget has not changed. So, and then she said, and figured the last several months, and she said you spend what, $30 to $40 a month is what you've been doing for the last several months.
I haven't been spending as much, so.
Yeah. So yes, that is updated. And then Jill wants to know, mom doesn't eat with you guys.
No.
No, mom has her own home. She doesn't live with us.
I live across town and everything. I have my own everything.
Yeah, she lives with us. Can you afford to entertain the grandchildren? This is sad to see.
I wish I had the boys here.
This is so sad to see, Mom. Can you entertain the grandchildren?
I do entertain the grandkids. As a matter of fact, I spoil the grandkids rotten because that's what grandmas are supposed to do, right?
Show them?
Oh,
They
yeah.
hang out at your house.
Yeah, and I don't want you to worry that they don't get treats or anything. Now, you have to realize this is the middle of September, guys. This is my candy jar that I keep. It's got a, can they see that? I don't have it up close to the camera. This is my candy jar that I keep for the boys. And as you notice, it's very, very low because it's the middle of September. And anybody that's been with me, you know good and well why it's so low. It's because I'm waiting for Halloween to restock my candy cabinet. But yeah, I do everything that normal grandparents
every time
do.
they go over there, they get hot chocolate, they get lemonade, they
I
get
make kettle
cookies,
corn. I bake cookies and bring cookies over to them, or they'll do something. Jack will come over and mow the yard, and I pay him for mowing the yard, and then I give him money to go buy us a slushie or something like that. I give my grandkids just as much, I think, as most people do. The thing is, I can do that because, like when they were little, I actually gave them more toys than a lot of grandparents did just because I went to garage sales and I could get a whole bunch of toys for very little money, where the other grandparents could only get them 2 or 3 things because they were paying full price. So I actually give the boys all kinds of stuff. I take them. Dave was wanting the other day. He said, Nan, I sure am needing some mozzarella sticks from Arby's. I take them. I don't go to Arby's myself half the time, but I do take the kids there. So, yeah, the kids get spoiled. I know. Well, he was sick, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay, so yes, it's so sad. I'm sorry, Mother, that you just abused the grandchildren.
Well, here, look at the stockings. I don't know if they can see this. Can you guys see these stockings? I bought these stockings. Did I hold it up there long enough for them to see?
Yeah.
I bought these stockings for them one Christmas at the Dollar Tree, and they were like between 3 and 4 foot tall. And I filled the silly things up with presents and candy and all kinds of stuff, So,
yeah.
But
all right, let's see. The next one is, okay, here we go.
oh dear.
I don't want to sound negative.
I love it.
Then why are you even commenting?
I know. I love it. They do that all
why
the
are you
time.
commenting?
I'm not criticizing here, but
sorry. I don't want to sound negative, but I agree. So much highly processed food. I'm 66 years old and I stopped with all the chemical-filled processed foods years ago. Oh, no. Okay. I'm not going to keep going on with everything she says, but oh my goodness. Okay. Let me see if, oops. Okay. So let's talk about.
That's my new boyfriend. I'd give him something to talk about on this. My new boyfriend. I'm sorry. I had to give him something to say something about.
Okay.
Oh.
We'll put you in the home first.
You put me in the home first.
Okay. I got something to say about this chemical processed foods. Now, we get this comment all the time also. And I mean every single day. Every single day. You guys just don't see them because I delete them and block them. because I don't put up with that baloney on my channel. I will let some things through, to be perfectly frank, because it gives me more clout when people start arguing, defending it. And it makes YouTube know that when people, because when people comment more, YouTube knows that you guys like our videos, and so they show it more. So I'm no dummy. I leave some of them. But at the same time, you're not going to come into my house and talk to me that way, period.
Mhm.
You're not going to come into my YouTube channel and talk to me that way. Now, I left him on this video because I knew this follow-up video was coming. And so I wanted them to still be on there because we were going to discuss this. But look at this. Okay, this is a man that I found on YouTube who has been living off-grid in the Appalachian Mountains for, I can't remember if it's 30 or 40 years, a super long time, at least 30 years. Vegan, I'm sure. All plant-based. Guys, comment and tell me how old you think this guy is. Comment and tell me how old he is.
37.
I'm 37.
37, Michael says.
I want to see what you guys think. Here he is again. I want you guys to see how old do you think he is? I'm really curious. Let's see. Okay, so before we get to my next picture, 88. Oh, because you guys saw the video. I know you guys saw the video. 62, 75, because that was a really popular video. Okay, so you guys are right. He's 80 years old. Now, this is when we went back in May to my grandmother's 95th birthday. This is me, Mom, and Grandma. Grandma looks like she's 15 years younger than him instead of 15 years older than him.
Mm-hmm. She's 95. My mom's 95.
I'm sorry. Now, listen, all of the plant-based people, I'm not trying to dig plant-based. That's not the point of this. The point is, I don't know that it necessarily makes you a healthier person eating strictly plant-based. Yeah. I really don't know that I see that being the case.
I had a physical every year for the past 25 years. My health is fine, you know.
Yeah, well, we're getting to that one next too.
How old was he?
80. He was 80.
80.
Oh, well,
yeah.
He said 100.
He looked like 108, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked older.
I'm sorry, but if that's what eating plant-based is going to do for you, I ain't going to do it. I mean, well, like I said, no dig, but I'm not seeing it.
At my age, I need all the preservatives I can get.
Amen.
To keep it.
You said it, Mommy. I'm agreeing with you. I am agreeing with you.
I'm making sure I'm getting well preserved here.
All right. So then we get this comment.
We got some juicy ones, didn't we?
Oh, we got some juicy ones. And I left them on there. I hate to be that person, but there is so much sugar I see here. Orange juice, graham crackers, marshmallows, candy bars, cranberry sauce, dried apples. You know, CFS is tied to sugar consumption. Okay, first of all, it's not tied to sugar.
It's not.
Cutting your sugar can help with it if you have an issue with that.
Yeah.
If you don't have an issue with that, it's not going to do anything. But the next comment was, God bless her, but as a diabetic, I can't eat all those carbs. Mom is not diabetic. How many times do we have to say this? This is the third thing that people harp on all the time. If you're diabetic, watch what you eat.
But I don't have to because I eat healthy, so I don't have to. And
her A1C, I don't know, what was your A1C last time? It was like 4.5 or something, or 5. I can't remember. It was in the normal range.
Everything was in normal range.
It was fine. Mm-hmm. All of her blood work was fine.
Yeah.
And tell her what the doctor said. This was just like 2 months ago. Tell her what the doctor said.
For which one?
For about your blood work and what you eat.
Oh, yeah. It was absolutely all within the normal range for everything. And I went to another doctor. What was it? About 2 years ago, I went to that with you. And she was looking at my blood work and everything. and it was almost like she was frustrated because she couldn't find anything. And she said, well, you don't even have, what she call it, gluten markers or something. She said, you don't even have any, you can eat gluten. Like, oh my goodness, here's somebody that can actually eat gluten. It's like I was some kind of a freak of nature, you know? And I'm thinking, why should I change anything I'm doing when my weight is fine? My blood has been normal for 25 years. And I've gone to, I don't know how many doctors, you know. Well, that gal that remember she did the aura thing on me? She said, I can't find anything here that you need. She was frustrated because she sold vitamins and stuff there too. So she said, let me feel you. And she's taking her hands, and I'm thinking, ooh, you know, it's just really creepy. Well, then, and two, you guys have maybe heard me tell this story. She said, well, let me send you into our nutritionist so that she can help you. And I'm thinking, what do I need help with? You know, I've got everything pretty much under control here. We walked in. It was a good thing I had Tara with me because I was getting tired at this point. And we were sitting there, and the nutritionist walked in, and she sits down and she said, okay, let me get the papers ready and everything's explained to you how to do this gluten-free diet. And I just come from the doctor in the same building that said I shouldn't be on a gluten-free diet. So you have to be, and Tara said, why? She doesn't need to be gluten-free. And the nutritionist, oh, well, I guess she doesn't. But see, they automatically tell people this stuff. You've got to be very careful when they tell you you need this stuff. I had an aunt once. They told her she'd never been diabetic in her whole life. And then they told her she was diabetic, you know, and she was like a lot of people. Oh, I can't eat this. She'd bring her own food to my house, you know, when she'd come to visit, because I can only eat these things and do this. And she had to be so careful. She found out later the tests were wrong. She wasn't diabetic at all. It was all wrong. And here she went for like 2 years eating like this, and she wasn't even diabetic. And I thought something was fishy at the time when they told her that. But, you know, my grandma was diabetic. We have lots of, that's in our family, heart problems and diabetes. And so Tara and I both watch for it for years.
All the time,
yeah.
because it's genetic. We've got
yeah,
it in
so
our
we watch
family.
for it and never had any problem. Well, my grandma, I never once heard her say, I can't eat that because I'm diabetic. She never even told anybody she was diabetic. She never came to somebody's house and said, well, I can't have what's here on the table. She always ate everything, but she did eat small portions.
Yeah.
And even when my mom would have cake or a cookie or something, she'd ask my grandma, so you want a piece of cake? And my grandma said, yeah, sure, just give me a sliver. And she'd always eat a little bit. What diabetics don't understand, it's the portion control. And you can have a little bit of something like that when you eat a full meal. There's nothing wrong with it. But what happens is most people, a lot of people that have diabetes, especially as number two, are overweight, period. And it's more being overweight that's causing the diabetes and you to be messed up than it is the actual food you're eating. So it's not so much, I can't have carbs, I can't have sugar, I can't have this. You're eating way too much food.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. All right, guys, our Dining on a Dime cookbooks are on sale right now for 35% off our Labor Day sale. Volume 1 and Volume 2 are separate cookbooks, but you can use them together. They are all different recipes. If you're going to start anywhere, start with the red one, Volume 1. The green one is our gluten-free, dairy-free edition for those of you who are gluten-free, dairy-free like me. And for those of you who want to get organized, our undated planners are 10% off. Yes, they are in stock now. 365 days, 400 pages to help you get organized. I'm going to be using it more, showing you guys how to use it. All right, next comment. I'm sorry, but this is pitiful. Poor woman has almost nothing and no variety at all. Hardly any meat except lunch meat and leftovers from her daughter. I'd be ashamed to show this. It would be classified as elder abuse by most people. Saving money is one thing, but this is just not right. All right. So, no, we're going to finish because she has another comment that said, after I called her on it, She
And
says
a lot of other people too.
the elder abuse is putting it on YouTube, promoting that this is all the money your mom has for food, or is this false? But it makes for a great show on YouTube. I have never, ever, ever, I have never, ever, ever, I have never, ever, ever said this was all the money mom has for food.
That's just what I spend. It's not all that I have.
This is just what she chooses to spend because she would rather save her money for other things. Now, when we were growing up, yes, that was all she had. But for the last 25 years, she has had more money for food if she chooses to spend it.
Yeah. See, I've developed good habits over the years from when I didn't have money to be careful with my spending on groceries and that type of thing. And it's just a habit I have. I'm happy with it. I went the other day, they had cinnamon rolls. I went to the grocery store and I thought, oh, yum. And I haven't had them for like 6-8 months. And I bought me some. I can buy whatever I want, whenever I want it. It's just that I don't, food is not my God. Food is not my God. I don't live and breathe so I can have that special, type meat or that special coffee or that special, whatever. I don't live for my food. Yep. I just eat food to keep me alive, basically, and that's it. But if I want a treat, I'll go get me a treat. So,
and she has more. Are you ready?
Oh, okay.
There are seniors living like this that don't want to have so little to eat, but really don't have the money for more. Having to do without food to get medicine or pay rent. Maybe it's fine that your mom likes it, but when you use what I've said on one of your shows, please include the rest of what I've said as well. Maybe, because I told her thanks for the good clickbait title for us making mom elder abuse. Maybe you could ask your viewers to take a few extra groceries to an elderly person they know just living on Social Security. Use what I said for good instead of just clickbait for your YouTube promotions, please. Food insecurity is real for not just seniors. Okay. We get this kind of baloney all the time. Also, we're hitting all the baloney in this show. First of all, you don't know what we do to help other people.
Oh.
You don't know what a lot of people do to help other people.
Yeah.
And
let me say, Americans are one of the best countries, not only for
helping people,
Americans, but other countries. They're above par on that. I mean, we do it good. So that what she said is just a complete joke, really. Now, there may be like a 3% or 5% someplace that's true for, but she doesn't know what she's talking about.
Let's see. It's oops, I lost. Oh, where'd the comment go? Prudently at home says, oh my gosh, hold me back. Oh my goodness, Tara's letting loose. Let me tell you, I'm not holding back because this kind of thing really ticks me off.
It's that silly victim mentality. Everybody has something that they've got, I saw a gal the other day that I don't know how I'm going to buy my husband's medicine. I don't know what to do. Well, if you're smoking, if you're drinking
sodas to the tune of 5 to 7 a day,
going on a weekend vacation someplace,
all these things are common.
And then you sit there and say, I don't know where I'm going to find the money to buy my husband medicine. We see this all the time. All the time. Constantly.
Now, here's the next thing. I'm having the Holy Spirit come upon me so I can have the spiritual gift of tact. Because the spiritual gift of tact is not wanting to come upon me.
Well, let me say this. Sometimes it's about time somebody stood up and spoke about this garbage, the way people talk like this. Go ahead.
Okay. People make mistakes and screw up in their lives. I totally get that.
or have natural disasters, things happen maybe.
Well, I'm not talking even
Oh,
about
okay,
that yet.
Okay.
People realize that they have made mistakes in their lives and that they have done things that they shouldn't have done. I have seen several YouTubers on Social Security when we were doing some Social Security stuff. And they were sitting there crying and moaning about how they're having to go to the food bank and they can't afford food, only to come to find out all those years they were working, they were driving new cars. They were buying new purses. They were getting their nails done. They were getting their hair done. They were eating out all the time to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars a year eating out in their corporate job. And now they hit Social Security and they are poor and they have food scarcity and they can't make ends meet. Well, you know what? That's the consequences of your choices.
You reap what you sow is what the Bible says. You reap what you sow. And the best story, you guys, you've heard me give this story a million times about the ant and the grasshopper.
I'm going to have a stroke.
I know, I'm telling the story so you can calm down. But with the ant and the grasshopper, you guys probably know the story already. The ant is out working the fields, working hard, saving, chopping wood for the winter, getting prepared for winter, and getting everything ready for winter, working hard. The grasshopper comes along and mocks. And I mean, I'm going to emphasize this word because I have gotten this so much. Mocks the ant. You know what? I was told that, well, you live in America in the 21st century. You need to turn your heat up. That's a mocking type thing. It's mocking. I've been mocked like that a lot of times, even with my eating, you know, and that type of thing.
People laugh at the cars Mike and I drive.
Yeah, we get mocked. And the grasshopper came along and mocked the ant and said, well, you need to just play while the sun's shining. It's summer. Everything's wonderful. You need to have some fun. And
Excuse me a moment, please. I need something to calm my nerves.
And, you know, he keeps mocking the ant. And the ant keeps working and working. Well, the winter, then I see my picture book, so easy. My mom used to read it to me. And here comes the grasshopper. It's winter. He has no food now to feed his family. He has no wood to heat for his family. And he comes to the ant's house and knocks on the ant's door and said, can you give me food and wood to heat my home? And the ant said, no. Because it's not right.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have to. And that's what's happening with people now is they're not doing what's right. There you go, Michael. You can have the candy jar too. You know, that's not right. That's why we have these poor victims say, you're supposed to feel sorry for me. And then these silly people say, well, look at these poor people that don't have anything to eat. No, these people, I've watched them not save their money. They're the same age as me. I worked hard. I did without. And they actually made fun of me. Well, you can't go out to lunch with us and eat. No, I can't go out to lunch with you.
Because she was paying off her house, which we're going to get to in just a minute.
Yeah.
But,
you know, I couldn't do those things. I was getting out of debt, paying off my house, and saving. And now we have arrived at the time in life where they're having to live off their Social Security. They maybe lost their 401k for some reason, or they maybe figured out, oh my goodness, I'm not bringing in enough money to pay my house mortgage.
Or paying for my medicine.
Yeah. So what am I supposed to do? I don't know. And I hate to sound unkind, but I'm sorry. You were the people that for all those years, you mocked me and laughed at me for the choices I made because I turned the heat down or I turned my air conditioner, you know, whichever, that type of thing. I've learned habits where I take a shower in like 3 to 5 minutes and I only do it a couple times a week. I have got good habits set in place where I don't even think about it. I have eaten healthy in spite of what people think, so I don't have to worry about tons and tons. I take some medications, yes, but I don't have to worry as much as some people do, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say, if I see someone who is truly in need and cannot buy food, I will help them. But it's going to be beans and rice. it's not going to be a steak. Now, I'm all for, I'll take people care packages with cinnamon rolls and some food or that kind of thing, but they're going to get staples. They're not going to get canned cinnamon rolls. And I'll even put in cookies or that kind of thing. But listen, these are your choices.
Yeah.
You chose 20 years ago to eat beans and rice in your 80s. You made that decision. And the whole food scarcity, pardon my French, fecal matter, is just that. There is no food scarcity in the United States. You can get food easily in the United States. First of all, it's super, super cheap. And then if you are truly in need, there are food banks out the wazoo. There are churches out the wazoo that are helping people. This is not India. This is not North Korea. This is not China. This is not Africa. Stop your whining.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it.
But that's just the way they do now. That's just the way people think now. And people don't want to take responsibility for themselves is what it amounts to anymore.
They don't want to take
They
responsibility.
think I can go buy whatever I want. And if I run out of money, I'll either use a credit card or I'll find somebody to give it to me. So,
all right, guys, go check out our cookbooks if you're still speaking.
do we have anybody left on here after that? Oh, my word.
Dining on a Dime cookbooks, 35% off right now. Volume 1 and Volume 2. They're totally separate recipes, but they go together. And we're not even done yet. Gluten-free, dairy-free edition. If you're gluten-free, dairy-free like me, easy recipes. I just made this gluten-free bread right here yesterday, and it's still just as delicious. Our planners are in stock. We just forgot to put the quantity in there, guys. They are in stock. 10% off on our planners, 35% off on our cookbooks.
Tell them if it says out of stock, hit refresh.
If it says out of stock, hit refresh, Mike says. Okay.
Now, we're not saying this to be mean, cruel, horrible, but we're hoping that some people will learn from these examples.
Wake up.
It's kind of like the Bible. God gives us certain commandments, and people get angry and say, well, I don't know why I have to do that, or I shouldn't have to do that. But he only gives us those commandments because he knows it's going to hurt us. And he warns us, don't do this. It's going to hurt you. And that's all taught. We're not that we're God or anything. I mean, that's all we're trying to do is to warn you that you can't live a life like that. And if you're 20, 30, or 40 and you're living like that right now, you may have to stop and think, because here's people my age now that are having problems, and you may want to rethink your credit card debt and your mortgages and stuff like that.
Okay. Next. Are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's
Deep breath.
get this ding-a-ling off. And the next one.
She wasn't being
She was being a ding-a-ling. She was being woke, and she needs to wake up.
I was going to say, I'm so sick
She's
of
being
this.
woke, and she needs to wake up.
I'm so sick of people,
stop being woke and start
they're
waking
like
up.
a parrot. It's kind of, I feel sad for them, because what they're doing is they're just like a parrot that just quotes what they hear. They aren't putting their brain in gear to think about what they're saying.
Yeah,
they're
they're
just
not.
talking like a parrot or a zombie.
Okay, next. Do you recommend only buying food that is on sale every week to feed your family? Yes, that is the whole point. And that's exactly what you should be doing, is just following the ads. And then the next comment is, if people would just buy food that is on sale, save money, they would be able to eat healthy. Yes, that is the whole
Ashlei
point.
was a good example of
She's
that.
perfect. Now, we have Kelly, who says, food preps really help. Mom's $40 that she spends the last 6 months. The $20 that she spends on average month, a week, $20 a week, includes buying food preps. She didn't go and spend $1,000 prepping her food. She will buy a can of fruit now and then, a can of chicken now and then. She'll replace her stockpile. She doesn't go and just buy $1,000 worth of food and that's her
Oh,
stockpile.
no, I would never dream of doing
That is included in the $40 to
In the
$80 a month she
groceries.
spends.
Yeah. And now I've been here 2 years. I had to get rid of most of my food prep stuff when I moved here 2 years ago. And I have, within 2 years' time, I've got at least 1.5 years to 2 years worth of food prep now. So all what I do is, like, I had a can of tuna, and I will take and write on my grocery list tuna, and I'll buy a can of tuna. Now, if the tuna's on sale that week, I probably won't buy it if it's not on sale. I'll wait till it goes on sale. I'll maybe buy 2 cans, you know, if I'm not getting anything else that week. So I went, what was it, 2 weeks ago, and they had coffee on sale. So I just finished off a thing of coffee. So I went and bought it for it's part my food prep and for me to use, you know. So yeah, that includes all my food prep.
Lori, the answer to your question on the chicken thighs is yes, that's a good deal. Okay, next we have definitely not this one. Oh my goodness. Definitely not enough protein in green leafy vegetables per day. Lots of sweets. Nutrition is so important as we age. Okay, now, no, hold on. Nutrition is so important as we age. Let us go back to earlier in the video where we showed this gentleman here who has lived on leafy green vegetables his entire life.
So-called nutritional things.
This man is 80 years old. He looks like he's 108. Here is my mother and my grandmother. Mom is 72. Grandma is 95. They look like, mom looks like she's what, 40. Grandma looks like she's 80. It's obvious green leafy vegetables were not helping that man. I'm sorry.
But
you cannot tell me
there's
that green...
another thing that they're parroting what they've heard. You know, they're parroting what they heard. And you're not really researching when you guys research stuff, don't type in the question in Google so that they'll pop up with everything that'll agree with what you think it should be. You need to really do the pros and cons on everything. Is that okay if I say that?
Yeah.
You know, because sugar, everybody was just having a hard. I didn't think I had that much sugar on my stuff, really. You know, I didn't think. I mean, I had 2 little mini candy bars on there, and that was just like everybody was screaming sugar, sugar. But do you know that sugar itself? I do research on this stuff like crazy, guys. Sugar itself does not cause any disease or any illness or hurt you at all. The only time sugar hurts you is when you eat
consume it.
Yes. You eat excessive amounts of it. And even though you think I was not eating excessive amounts of the sugar at all. As a matter of fact, they actually recommend that it was like on a 2,000 calorie diet a day, they recommend that 10% of that be sugar. Can you believe that?
Okay, so let's go to this. They say you need 46 grams of protein for a woman mom's age. This was my comment to all the protein, not enough protein people. Okay, I even saved your lazy bums doing the math.
See, you need to figure this stuff out yourself.
If you're going to comment, at least do the math yourself and figure it out. Oh, my word. So in that video, she had graham crackers, which have 4 grams of protein, eggs, 14 grams, toasted egg, 9 grams, ham sandwich, 10 grams, tuna with egg, 12 grams, bread has 4 grams. Then she had tomato with soup with cheese, 7 grams, cheese, 7 grams, payday candy bar, 4 grams, pinwheels, 17 grams, cashews, 5 grams, cottage cheese, 12 grams, roast, 25 grams.
But she didn't even have like potato on there. I had some potato a couple of times, and that has protein in it. See, people don't realize potatoes have protein in it. They don't realize all the foods that do have protein. And even like a potato has vitamin C. Everybody thinks they have to have an orange or a lemon or a grapefruit to get your vitamin C. It's full of lots of vitamins and nutrients, you know.
Yeah. Learn
your nutrients. Learn what's in your different foods that you eat, and you would be very shocked, I think.
All right. Then we have, why does the lack of vegetable not worry anyone, mother? Okay, first of all, Vegetables make mom sick to her stomach, so she doesn't eat a ton
My
of them.
doctors actually told me not to eat so many vegetables, believe it or not.
But shall we take a look at a serving of vegetables per day? Or, I mean, at the amount of vegetables that you need per day. Let me show you this little graph here. This is the 5 servings of fruits and vegetables you need a day.
But that's for
A
an adult
day.
man, isn't it?
No, this is just,
Oh, for
a
just
person.
a person.
We're talking a thing of spinach, 6 cucumbers, 6 carrots, an apple, and some dried raisins. Okay, there's 1 day's worth of fruits and vegetables. Celery sticks. It looks like 5 or 6 strawberries. Spinach, cherry tomatoes, an orange. That's another full day. A salad, a pepper, a banana, applesauce, another full day. Cantaloupe, what is that? Blueberry, grapes, maybe? I don't know what that is. And then some pepper slices, and I can't tell, asparagus maybe, and spinach, another full day. Cherry tomatoes, cantaloupe, celery, blueberries, and a salad, another full day. Now, look at this. 1 salad, a bowl of raisins, a half a bowl of raisins,
Apple.
and an apple is an entire day's worth of vegetables. How many people eat 4 times that amount of salad?
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that much.
Obesity has gotten worse and worse, and we want to blame it on preservatives, on the sugar and all that. No, obesity has gotten worse because you're eating healthy, and because it's healthy food, in your mind, you translate that as if I can eat as much as I want. As a matter of fact, I should eat more than what's recommended to me because that'll make me extra healthy. I don't know why people think like that, but they think if one thinks healthy by eating 4 times that amount, they're going to get super healthy. You know, it doesn't work like that. It just gives you super more calories, so you're gaining weight.
I don't know, guys. Type 1 if you think I should finish the show because I still have more, but I don't know.
Do we have anybody left on?
We do. Okay, I'm going to give the book sales pitch real quick while you guys let me know if you want me to finish because I still actually have more. All right, Diane Dime Cookbooks, guys, 35% off right now for our Labor Day sale. Please go grab them right now. They are 35% off. The red one, if you're going to start anywhere, start with the red one. That's our volume 1. Volume 2 is just the recipes I could not fit in volume 1. And then Dining on a Dime, the green, gluten-free, dairy-free edition. And then we also have our planners, 10% off. They think I should keep going. Okay.
Well, you know,
I hope you're prepared.
One thing, we have such a warped or twisted or uneducated knowledge
we're getting to that.
of food. Okay.
We're getting to that. That's what's next. Okay. Are you ready, Mom?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. So then I got this.
It's going to get better, guys.
No, it's not.
I mean,
Actually.
better in a bad way. I should have said.
Then I got this email. Now, the lady was very nice after I responded to her. Hello, Kimmy.
Hi, Kimmy.
Oh, Kimmy, this is getting ready to get good. You got on just in time. Okay. So I got this email, and this goes along with the whole thing. So I'm going to read it, and you guys will see how it all works together. But it says, good morning, Tara. Watched a video on YouTube by Business Insider, I think. 11 most fake foods. So here's the link right there if you guys want to go look it up yourself. It's on the top here, or I mean the thumbnail. 11 most faked foods: vanilla, coffee, Parmesan, honey, olive oil. The more high-toned stuff I don't care about because we don't buy. It's frightening what they call imitation vanilla, a petroleum product, wood and nut that chemically blended tastes like vanilla. That sounds bad. And stuff like that is acceptable as long as it's called natural flavor. What scares me...
Note the word scare.
What scares me on some of this is what could be the long-term health effects. My great uncle, who grew his own food, raised Angus cattle, etc., once said you can feed a lab rat one chemical for its entire life and things might be fine. But you feed the same lab rat a cocktail of chemicals over and over a lifetime, things are bound to go wrong. Now, wait a minute. Things are bound to go wrong. There's no proof
That they go wrong.
that there's actually anything going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
They're just assuming it's going
that
wrong.
wording. Watch that wording. Yeah.
The less expensive honey can be called honey as long as it has 2 tablespoons of honey in the blend. What? Okay, if you haven't figured that out by now, I don't know what planet you're on, but honey sauce and honey syrup has been around for 50 years. I mean, this is nothing new. Some olive oils can actually contain peanut oil. Said it's scary if you're allergic. Now, yes, that I would understand. If they're mixed with peanut oil and it's not labeled, then if I have a peanut allergy, I'm not going to get oil blends. Mm-hmm. I know you know a lot about foods and was wondering what your thoughts are on this. Oh, you had to ask, didn't you? What do you know about these substitutions? I have always used Dancy vanilla from Mexico. My mother always used it. Great quality. Got something to say about that too. You can find it on Amazon. Hub wanted to try making our own, so we did. Wow, high quality ingredients are pricey. No fecal matter, Sherlock. Why do you think all of these imitations are out there? Because the real stuff is expensive. We're going to talk about this just a moment. So we did. Okay, high quality ingredients are pricey. We will get about 12 16-ounce bottles from our ingredients and take 6 months to a year to come to full flavor. Okay, first of all, it doesn't take 6 months to a year. It takes 6 weeks. So I don't know where you're getting that from, but it takes 6 weeks. You can use the beans twice. Yes, you can. They say, yes, you can. I will show you in my video here. We used 100 proof in one set, 80 proof in another, and 100 is much richer, darker color. I'll let you know how they turn out. Okay, I already know how they're going to turn out because I make homemade vanilla all the time. Why do I make it? Because the recipe's in our Dining on a Dime cookbook. Vanilla beans used to be cheaper. Booze used to be cheaper. So that if you got a big bottle of booze like I'm getting ready to show you, it was economical when I wrote this book 25 years ago. But it's not economical to make it now. Not even close. I make it because of the videos. That's the only reason I make it. All right. So we're going to get the vanilla in just a minute. So I wrote her back and she was very nice and very gracious. But this kind of email really gets my britches in a bunch because people are just listening to nonsense and not actually figuring it out for themselves.
Researching it properly.
I mean, I appreciate that you came to me and asked. At least you're asking, and I think that's great. But I went and watched the video myself, and this was not rocket science to figure out what they were saying. It wasn't rocket science. And so I went and watched the video myself and went through the entire list, and we're going to go through that list right now. So it started off with truffle oil. And they were like, well, truffles are really expensive. So they do some sort of chemical that is smells like feet. And that's how the truffle oil tastes and smells like truffles. Okay, well, first of all, if you are not 100% out of debt completely for everything and your retirement doesn't have at least $1 million in it, what are you doing buying truffle oil?
The first place, yeah.
That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So
that's my first thought.
Don't even worry about it. Okay, so now here comes the fun one. Maple syrup. So
hasn't it always been fake?
No, it's not. They get it from the trees.
Well, I know, but nobody can afford that hard.
I know. So the whole point of the maple syrup was that this regular syrup that normal people buy is nothing but corn syrup. Well, no kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect? The reason why maple syrup is so expensive is because it takes 40 gallons Yes, I said gallons of maple syrup to make one of those little things of maple syrup.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just assumed everybody knew the stuff you buy in the store most of the time is
they
just the
don't.
fake stuff.
No.
And what's wrong with, during the Depression, everybody used Karo syrup
I know.
instead of anything
I know.
else. You know,
So
what does it hurt to put maple flavoring? You get the taste of
So-
it. Why?
on the maple syrup, what they said was half of it is fake, that you shouldn't eat it because half of it's fake. It's not fake. I mean, it's fake maple syrup, but it's just other sugars with maple flavoring. That's not fake food.
Mm-mm.
It might be fake maple syrup,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not fake food.
Yeah.
And so I went and looked, and this I thought was very interesting, though. The real maple syrup has 26 grams of sugar for 2 tablespoons for real maple syrup from the trees. The fake stuff has 17 grams of sugar for the same amount. I looked it up. I just looked on the back.
Do you have honey on the list too?
Well, I'm dealing with honey in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see here, oops, I didn't get my thing up. Look, right here, 17 grams of sugar for the fake stuff. And then if you go over here to the real stuff, this is the one I used right here. They were talking about in the video. Look on the back right there. It says 26 grams of sugar.
That's the point I was making earlier. You guys are not looking at what the calorie count is. You think you're eating like you're eating the healthy real maple syrup, but you're adding more calories, you know, that you're inhaling. That's why everybody keeps getting fat, even though they're eating healthy. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. And yes, I may have spoke wrong, but it's 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of syrup. I may have misspoke if I did that earlier. Sorry, guys, if I did. But you get my point.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, all right. So here's if you guys don't have syrup, you can make your own syrup at home. Just watch this.
On a Dime Cookbook Volume 1, page 79 has homemade maple syrup and grandma's maple syrup. I'm making grandma's. All it is sugar or brown sugar, 2-to-1 ratio. That means I have a cup of brown sugar and now I'm adding a half a cup of water. And then after it's done boiling, I'm going to add the maple flavoring here. Now, you can use any flavor you want. You could use strawberry, you could use vanilla, you could do orange. Ooh, orange would be really yummy. Then you just bring this to a boil for 5 minutes and you add the flavoring. Now, I just noticed a typo in the book. It says stir all the ingredients together. You're supposed to wait and not add the flavoring until after you're done boiling, because it will evaporate the flavoring, because if you note, the first ingredient is alcohol. So that means that it will just evaporate if you put it in right away. So we'll have to fix that for the next printing. I don't know how after 25 years how we haven't noticed that, but just fix that on your copy. Adding my flavoring. Stir that around. Now, if you want, and your kids are like, ooh, I don't want homemade, you can let this cool and pour it back into the syrup bottle. How does it make you feel, Dave? Wow. And you can double, triple, quadruple this recipe to fill however much you need. And you can use just brown sugar like I did this time, or you can do like a grandma's original recipe. You can do half brown sugar, half regular sugar, or you can just use white sugar if you want. So many variations you can make. Super easy to make for just pennies.
All right, guys, it is time to vote. Type 1 if you have made homemade syrup. We just got a comment that said that our syrup is the best. And no, this is not real maple syrup. But as we just spoke about that, if you missed that, you can go back and look. But guys, homemade syrup is super easy to make, and it can save you a lot of money.
Well, one thing too, I don't know if you guys realize this. I just got through reading a book. Everybody wants to eat healthy like grandma used to cook, or they used to do.
Grandma made
the
this
real
all the time.
This is the
Yeah.
way they had syrup. I was just finished reading a book where the mom was making the syrup like this. Unless you lived in Vermont or New Hampshire and happened to have maple trees that you can get it from, everybody else, this is what they used for syrup.
Yeah.
And then they transferred and they started getting Karo syrup, and that's what they used in place of that. So I keep hearing people say, oh, I just wish I could do the old-fashioned cooking. I wish I had
That's what
grandma's
Grandma
recipe.
did.
That's what grandma did. That's why that was grandma's recipe. You know, that's the way they made syrup because nobody had access to maple trees. So
I know.
that's what. So you got to know this stuff. You got to start studying your food. If you're really that serious about your food and want to get it right, start doing some of this research, you know, and stuff.
Yep. All right. The next thing they had was wasabi.
Oh my word!
First of all, I mean, how many people actually eat wasabi? Come on.
I've never
I
bought it.
mean,
I know.
when I go to the Chinese restaurant, I'll eat it. But their whole thing on the wasabi was that it's actually made with horseradish and sweetener and food starch. Okay, so what?
Yeah. Do you not know what food starch is and that type is, you know, what that's for?
Apparently, according to this video, wasabi is like super hard to grow and super expensive to grow because it takes like 2 years to grow and then you only get a little tiny bit when it grows. So that's why it's so expensive, and they cannot keep up with the demand for as much people as many people like to eat it. Well, you're going to get a fake substitute, but this is food still.
Mhm.
Just because it's fake wasabi
Doesn't mean it's not
doesn't
okay
mean
for
it's
you
not
to
going to
eat.
hurt you.
Yeah. Just
Oh, my
because something
goodness.
has fake or imitation does not mean
Does
it's
not
not
mean
any
it's
good.
bad.
Yeah.
All right, so then the next one was, the Parmesan cheese. Oh, yes. Okay, so then the next thing was the Parmesan cheese. And what they said about the Parmesan cheese was that it has rice flour, cellulose, and they are labeling it as real stuff, but it's not the stuff from Italy. Okay, so the few things that they had, the problems that they had with Parmesan cheese was, number one, that they're saying it's real, made in Italy, because there's only one place in Italy that can make real Parmesan cheese. And it's not being made there, and they're mislabeling it. Okay, well,
You
I
still
mean,
eat it. That has nothing to do with
doesn't mean it's
eating
not
it.
food.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't eat it.
now, this is the other one. They said it's made with cellulose, and rice flour, and the cellulose can be wood pulp, which is 3 to 4% of the cheese. And this is how much. And they said that it can be made out of wood pulp. So, in Tara scientific fashion, I got out the Parmesan cheese. Okay, I don't know if you can see. I hope you can see this. I should have taken video, I guess. This is what I would consider probably a serving, probably 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese right here. This here is 3%. Thank you. This here is 3%. That is supposedly the wood pulp. Okay.
I just ate the wood pulp. Is it okay?
Let me know how your poop is tomorrow.
I will.
Here's the thing. Okay, so let's say this is made of wood pulp. Can you see? Let's say this is your 3% wood pulp. Do you really think eating that much wood pulp is going to do anything to you?
Well, it's wood. Why can't you eat it?
Wood is edible.
Mm-hmm.
Wood is edible.
It's
this.
plant-based. It's plant-based.
I get this much
So that's what they're
just from my garden, eating the tomatoes that I just eat when I'm picking my garden tomatoes. I get probably this much a day
for all the
from just my garden produce.
Yeah.
Do you guys realize that the FDA allows a certain amount of rat and mouse feces in your food?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everything you buy.
Pretty much everything you buy is allowed a certain amount of feces in the food.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's still edible.
It's kind of like the Tefal pans, you know, the Tefal pans,
Oh,
the
Mom,
nonstick pans.
we got to get going.
Okay,
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Wait.
I'm just
Well,
I'm just kidding.
You know, I have people just, That's what I use all the time. And people say, oh, I just wouldn't dream of using those because all the flecks in my body and that. Well, I had a pan for 10 years, a small frying pan. I used almost every single day for 10 years. And I measured the scrap. I used nothing but metal utensils on it. I mean, I just scraped that thing to death. And all that I had was, I added it up. It was about 1.5 inches worth of scratches on there. Well, I looked at that. It was so thin, that Tefal is so thin, it's thinner than paper that they put on there. So I was getting 1.5 inches. Do you know how many tiny, tiny flecks that they had? So 1.5 inches for flecks for over a 10-year period. I figured it up. I forget how I figured it, but it was only like I got 1 to 2 flecks like a year off this pan. Now I could go outside and breathe more minerals and stuff into my mouth and nose than I was getting off that Tefal. But do you know how hysterical people were for a long time?
She meant breathe contaminants, not minerals. Yes,
yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, you know, breathe things into me that would be worse for me than those little tiny. What do you think those specks are going to do? Everybody thinks the Tefal's in their body. I just, you know, it went right through me.
I'm going in the bumper sticker business.
Why?
Heather says, Jill needs a bumper sticker that says, I survived Teflon and lived to tell about it.
That's good.
Oh, Heather,
good.
that is good.
But you know,
oh my goodness.
What do you think your body does? You put it in there. If you have some specks of Tefal in there, it's just going to come right out. It's not going to save it and go through your bloodstream and do weird things. Oh my
word, that's hilarious.
It's the same way people used to say, don't swallow your gum. Oh, it's so bad for you to swallow your gum. It's going to do, it's like my gum. You go to the bathroom and the gum won't come out. So when I was little, I was imagining huge amounts of gum building up in my stomach, you know. Well, it just goes right out you.
I have never, ever thrown out a piece of gum.
I don't,
I've always swallowed everything
all the time.
Oh, the comments we're going to get.
I know. But what do you think happens to it? It just goes
colonoscopy.
Well, it helps clean everything out. You know, it's so rubbery and hard when it goes through. It just cleans everything out.
I don't need a colonoscopy because I just swallow my gum. Oh, I'm here all day, folks. Oh my goodness. I'm on a roll today. What was that B12 shot I got yesterday? I'm feeling good.
Oh, goodness.
Sorry, I'm calling. Okay, back to the video, vanilla. Okay, so what they said about vanilla was that, okay, let me find my notes here. Vanilla, only 1% of vanilla is real. And that fake vanilla is made out of petroleum, clove oil, and bark. And that the vanilla in Mexico, that a large portion of the vanilla of Mexico, and I forgot to get the screenshot, is made from a fake bean that's not actually vanilla. And it can react with some people's medications they're on and kill them. I've known this for 30 years. Yeah. This has been going on for 30 years. I have known for 30 years, you don't buy vanilla from Mexico.
Yeah.
It is not good. As a matter of fact, I try to buy very little from Mexico. Yeah. I know we kind of have no choice sometimes in the winter now, but I wouldn't be buying food from Mexico.
I lived in El Paso 50 years ago, and they said, do not buy. We didn't buy anything except certain things where they had American manufacturing companies there. But they said, you don't buy stuff like that. That always scared me when people said they get, you know. And I have, before I realized what it was, gone to somebody's house, and they'd use the Mexican vanilla and say, oh, this is, after I ate it, oh, this is so much better. I couldn't tell any difference. Part of it is mental. I'm sorry, guys. It really is. You've been told it's better. And when you go taste it in your mind, it tastes better. And that happens with a lot of foods. You know, we had that with our eggs all the time. And all
right. So here's how you actually make homemade vanilla if you want to. But I'm telling you right now, it's not cheaper. Melinda says, how about watermelon seeds? I know. I swallow them too.
Watermelon seeds. I know. It's like,
I know.
Oh, you guys are good.
I'm going in next week for colonoscopy and see what they
See what
find
they
in
find
there.
in there. You could
I
video,
bet
we could
it's fun.
videotape it.
Oh,
Tara's colonoscopy.
that could be a business write-off. My
Yeah,
colonoscopy.
That might go viral too, you know, and that would get you more money. Poor Mike.
Mike over here.
If you
He's
could see
dying.
Mike, he's thinking, I'm so glad I'm not on tonight. I'm so glad I'm not on tonight.
Barbara says the gum acts like a slingshot.
Oh, maybe that's what you need to free your colon, Michael, is swallow more gum.
Free your colon from its bondage.
Who needs a doctor? We can give medical advice here.
Okay.
Oh,
Here's
dear.
how you make homemade vanilla, which is not cheap.
Vanilla, cut your vanilla beans in half. Then you're going to put them in your bottle. Then fill your bottle up with vodka and let it sit for 4 to 6 weeks. You can just add more vodka until your vanilla beans don't color the vodka anymore, and then you can just add fresh vanilla beans. I just store my vanilla in this vodka bottle, and then I just refill as needed.
So here's what happened with the homeschool conference. Mike said, do the book, guys, just go buy it, please. So here's what happened at the homeschool conference. So BJ and Ellie were only like 2 or 3
with
years old.
vanilla, with making vanilla.
Yeah, I think of the vanilla recipe every time, this story every time. And so we were setting up this homeschool conference. It was a lot of work setting it up.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of work. We had a big display.
We did it really fancy. Even behind the table was all over the table
Yeah.
on the floor.
And so we took and did all this, and we were sitting there trying to sell books. Of course, we weren't selling hardly anything. And we had the book open to homemade vanilla, just showing the things you can make. And we get this homeschool mom with her kids. And her kids are flinging stuff off the table.
Well,
Go ahead.
it was the one little girl was the worst. And the mom started hollering at Tara. I mean, loud, yelling.
It was embarrassing. I
Yeah.
was like, are you kidding me?
All the vendors and the people stood and started watching what was going on because she was screaming, how dare you have alcohol in this cookbook and you're selling it? Go ahead.
At a Christian conference.
Go ahead.
And she reamed me up one side and down the other while her child was flinging stuff all off the table.
We had like fruit and all this stuff, and she was knocking
Flinging
it
it.
all over, and she's picking up the books out of we had bushel baskets full of the books, and she was throwing the books around, and I could just see the horror on everybody else's face. They couldn't believe it.
And she's reaming me out
And she kept going on and
for making
on.
vanilla. Now listen, I'm sorry, as a Christian, if you do not have enough self-control that you can't make homemade vanilla, then you just keep it out of your house. That's fine. I understand there are people who are alcoholics and can't have that stuff in their house. That's fine. But there are other people who aren't alcoholics, and it is not a problem to make homemade vanilla.
Well, and what else is a problem? This woman didn't realize the store-bought vanilla, real stuff, was made out of alcohol. She had no clue. And so here she used that, but she said, you got to buy it from the store. It's like, so when she got done, she went stomping off, and all the vendors, everybody was so nice, weren't they? They came over trying to help us put the booth back together.
Oh
But
my
I thought,
goodness.
how sad, because some of those vendors around us, we've been talking to them, they weren't Christians. And I thought, that woman did more damage with that one self-righteous, holier than thou act than anything else. I mean, these people they visited with us, and you know, we tried to, all our Christian testimony from us even would have gone down the tubes just because of how she was acting. You guys got to be careful. You really do, you know.
All right.
And another thing with the vanilla, people don't realize they want the real stuff sometimes, and it is a little bit stronger, but you can use twice as much imitation. It's still cheaper to use it.
Yes.
But if you think about it, vanilla is something that it's not like you're eating a whole lot of it. You know, how much vanilla do you put in a whole cake?
That 1/16 of a teaspoon that you put in a cake.
Yeah. what damage, no matter what they make out of it, you get it's for the flavor. You know, it's body's not going to be ingesting all that. So you got to think this stuff through. How much vanilla is my body going to, you know, actually get from that?
And all that wood pulp is going to help your poop. It is. It's just going to help.
Well, it's like I said, plant-based.
So I want to know how many people have gigantic poops after eating their vanilla.
Now, Mike he passed out. We won't be able to revive him.
Kimmy, I want to know about your poop tomorrow.
Oh, dear.
Goodness. Good grief. Okay. Now for the olive oil. Okay. Oops. It went too fast on the olive oil. So what they said on the olive oil was it's imitation because it's made of soybean, vegetable oil, or lower grades of olive oil. And so it's not real extra virgin olive oil. Well, of course, if it says olive oil blend, look at the ingredients.
Yeah.
But it's still food.
Yeah.
Just because it's fake olive oil doesn't mean it's not safe for you to eat.
And once again, it's doing what you need it to do, is to give you the olive oil flavor and to cook the food in. You know, if it's not hurting you, what difference does it make?
Then the next one was the Wagyu beef.
Oh, my word.
Okay. Now, this beef is $300 for a steak. $300 for a steak. If you are eating this, you had better have zero debt, $1 million in your retirement, and then you can eat. Then you can have permission to eat this beef. But why are you even worried about it? Who can afford this kind of beef except for the very rich, who more than likely are in their eyeballs anyway?
They're probably not watching our frugal YouTube channel.
So don't even worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee. So the next one was coffee. And what they said was that the coffee, it was made out of cheap, unripe beans. Some coffees can be filled with acorns, barley, or wheat. Okay, I'm sorry, but all that stuff is edible.
Yeah. What's wrong? And, you know,
It may be fake, but it's still edible. It's not going to hurt you.
during different wars here in the United States, they would use weird type beans that they could find on the ground or whatever, nuts and stuff that they would grind up and use for coffee. Once again, everybody wants to eat like they used to eat years ago. You know, well, that's what they had to use, is these different types of beans they would grind up. And as long as it's food, if it tastes like coffee, what difference? You know, once again, what difference does it make?
The next one is caviar. Okay, so on the caviar, what they said was that it was used with, oops, I got the caviar and so here's the coffee mixed up. Sorry, guys, I got the caviar and the coffee mixed up. But what they said on the caviar was it's just not real caviar. It's used from, the caviar, I guess, is from one particular kind of fish, and they used fish eggs from another fish, and it's not high quality caviar. Okay, but it's still food.
Yeah.
No.
And once again, if you're eating caviar, you're not watching my show. Or maybe you should be watching my show, but you're not. But I have never had caviar. And please don't send me caviar. I don't even want to try it. But I like fish. I just can't see me eating caviar.
Well,
I don't know why.
another thing too is notice the foods they're showing on this. And people will watch something like this and they'll say, oh, they're putting weird stuff in food. You know, this is not food normal people eat. Probably half the food people normally eat is fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't have any of this.
I
So
know.
why are we even worrying about
Why are we
this
even
kind of
talking
food?
about this
Because
stuff?
we don't, you know, nobody hardly eats it unless you're.
So then next to the saffron, no offense, Ashley, but they said on the saffron, what the deal was on the saffron was that it has hay, coconut hair, horsehair, and roots. Now, okay, probably none of that stuff is, I wouldn't want to be eating hay, horsehair, and roots, and coconut hair, or whatever this fuzz on the outside of coconut's called. But
Does it really
once
hurt you?
again, you're just going to poop it out. It's really not going to make any difference. How many cowboys eat horsehair all the time inadvertently just from the hay and stuff in the barn coming in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've survived. We have cowboy
And
friends
once
here.
again,
And
how much do you actually use of that when you cook something?
All right.
know it's
The next one, honey. Okay, so for the honey, they said, oh, I didn't make my notes because by this time, believe it or not, I was getting my britches in a bunch about this point of the video. What's so maddening is this video has 6.4 million views in 10 days.
Can you imagine now
From people who are afraid of their food. This is what makes me angry.
Yeah. And those people that are so afraid of what they're eating and their food, you have to have this, I have to have that. That stress is, I've said this a kabillion times, you're going to find out that stress is causing way more damage than anything the food
talk
could.
about that.
I'm sorry.
I haven't got there yet.
Okay.
Keep jumping the gun, Mom.
I'm sorry. I know.
But they said honey is made out of corn syrup and rice syrup and sugar cane, and beet syrup. Okay, once again, and I can't remember the other chemical was something chemical. It was a petroleum something or another. Okay, so I looked up this petroleum stuff. Did you know that you can actually eat petroleum?
I did know that.
All it does is give you diarrhea if you eat too much.
Yeah, and once again, there you go. If you eat too much, if you sit and eat a whole thing of it, you know.
I think I should test eating some Vaseline and see what happens.
And then go in for your colonoscopy.
Between the gum and the watermelon seeds
Can
and
you
the
imagine?
Vaseline. Can you imagine explaining that to the doctor? Sorry, Doc. I was testing eating Vaseline for our viewers.
The thing I do for my viewers.
Let me test some Vaseline for you guys. Think about it. It's Vaseline. All it's going to do is slide through.
I know.
And maybe help everything else slide through too if you're having
while
some
you're
issues.
at it.
As a matter of fact, I think maybe in the olden days, isn't that what they gave cowboys on the road? What were the suppositories they made in the old days?
That's one thing I don't know about.
Go back to Cowtown for that one.
She's looking it up for you guys.
I think it is because I am a full service YouTuber.
Yes.
I am a full service
Oh,
YouTuber.
dear.
Here, let's see. What vintage does it say? Wait, let's see. Made of gelatin, glycerin, and water.
No.
Well, so what is glycerin made of? Glycerin made of. Let's see what glycerin is made of. I don't remember. I should know.
This is
Petroleum! It is made from petroleum!
See how we research this stuff for you guys? And really, this is what you need to do. Is when you hear this stuff, you need to actually think, okay, what's going on here? You know? But, you know, and on the honey too, I did research on the honey. And the thing with that is, even real honey from the hives, once you process it, I mean, that's heated up in the jars to put sealage, you know, or something like that. Once you do that, everybody's so eating the honey instead of the sugar because they think it's healthier for them. But once you do the process on that honey by putting it in the jars or whatever, it says it totally chemically makes it exactly like sugar. It's no different from sugar. Not only that, but honey has, I think sugar has like 45 calories and honey has 68 or something like that, around that. So it's at least 20 calories more than sugar. And I sit and watch these people have their hot cup of tea, and I changed over to honey, and they
pour half a cup of honey in.
Yeah, they keep pouring it in because in their mind, once again, it goes back to I'm eating healthy, so I can have 4 teaspoons of honey, you know, in my thing. Where sugar, I would have maybe put 1 or 2 teaspoons in. And so they're eating, not only are they eating twice as much, but they're eating twice as much or more, 20 calories more for each spoonful on top of that. So, and we sit there and think, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. And so.
Send me questions, Mike, if we have them.
We probably have some.
So, the point again with the honey, guys. Okay, so it's fake. it's edible. But they
Mhm.
said that there is not enough production to even come close to keeping up with the amount of honey that people insist on having.
Yeah,
Because it's healthy.
now. And another thing is, everybody thinks, well, it's healthier for you. It's not. Sugar is antibacterial too. I don't think everybody realizes that. That's why they always use sugar in canning and have for a long, long time, decades and decades and decades, because it kills bacteria, and so that's why they say.
But it also, raw honey has bacteria in it.
Yeah.
And so that's why they pasteurize it, because people like us with compromised immune systems, I'm not going to eat raw honey or raw milk. I do not want to end up in the hospital with botulism from eating raw honey or raw milk.
Well, that's why you can't feed it to babies and
I
little
know.
children.
I had food poisoning
thinking,
Monday. I'm not going to go through that again.
I fed sugar to my grandkids and didn't worry about it, but you're not supposed to give them honey. I'm thinking, which one would I rather have to sweeten my stuff, So I'm not sure why the honey thing is so big, because it really isn't healthy for you if you really track all this stuff down and look at it.
So anyway, guys, believe it or not, that was...
But this is how we want you to start studying your food. And the fear factor. I can't emphasize this enough. You guys have got to stop worrying about your food.
Being afraid of everything.
Of all this stuff. And another thing I was thinking today, I was watching a thing on YouTube. This is where I learn all my stuff. But, it was talking about in the end times, as a Christian, that it says that we'll be deceived. There's going to be lots of deception. And I used to, when I was younger, when I was like 10 and 11, I'd hear this. And I thought, well, that means that people aren't going to understand. They're going to be deceived about the Bible and about Jesus coming, and dying for us and that type of thing. And our faith, they were going to be deceived about that. But today it dawned on me, they're going to be deceived. People are being deceived about everything. How many things that used to be, we could trust the media, to give us the truth. There's no truth in anything. And if you believe this stuff, you're being deceived. And so
6 million people are just watching this fake food video, believing it without even researching.
And so that's where the deception, you have to research this stuff so you aren't being deceived, so anyway.
All right, we're going to get to questions. Mike is taking all of Mom's
He's got the
candy.
lips, he's got an eyeball off so far, and half the candy's gone out of my candy jar.
Cara says, ultra fast shipping. I received my cookbook today. Great job. Yay.
Oh.
Yes. We try to ship Monday through Friday. So if you order on Friday, we'll ship on Monday, but still we get it out right away. Mm-hmm. Mary, Tara, you looked so good the other night. Missed you, but it looks like you got some rest. Thank you. I don't know how much rest I got, but thank you. Crystal, she loves all 3 of the cookbooks. 35% off right now, guys, for our Labor Day sale. And Jill is loving the crockpot recipe book we gave her. Oh, you're welcome. Under the Media says lentils was in the jar at the first photo. Thank you, Under the Median. I got that one wrong. I did not see that. Olympia, does the planner include a budget section? Yes, it does. It is, and we have a video on the planner ordering page, but we have a budget section and a debt payoff section, both. Well, there's more than one page. Hold on, because people have a lot of, there's actually 3 pages
for the debt payoff
because people have a lot of debt. So there you go. And how do you store homemade breadcrumbs? You can either dehydrate them after they're crumbled, or you can put them in the freezer if they're not dehydrated yet. Mm-hmm. Terrific. Tarsha says, I love the grocery audits. Guys, give me a thumbs up if you're liking the grocery audits. I think you guys are. Out of our top 10 videos, 4 out of the top 7 are our grocery audits already. That's big. So if you guys want to be on our grocery audit, please sign up down below. You don't have to be live, but if you'd like to be live and answer questions, you can. We're going to have Lynn on Friday and do her grocery audit. So please go sign up. Anita says, does the gluten-free ebook contain bread and baking recipes? Yes, I just made this bread. I should have brought it out and showed you. And they all taste like normal foods, except they're gluten-free and dairy-free. Heather says she loved cracked wheat cereal growing up. I know. I really love that. I totally forgot about that. I used to love that. Vicky says her cheese goes bad when she stores it in the bottom drawer. The appliance repairman told me it was colder on the bottom. Pistol, my appliance repairman, said the same thing, but it's not. My drawer is 40 degrees, 42 degrees, and the top is 38.
Yeah, I keep
It's
mine.
supposed to be cold air falls, and it's not.
I keep mine on a little bit higher shelf. I just put it in a
I'm trying to
plastic
decide
shoebox.
the food poisoning I got on Monday. I can't tell if I got bad meat from the grocery store or if it's because my refrigerator, I had it on a lower shelf, and I don't know if it went bad in my, because Mom and I were the only ones who ate the pork chops, and we both got really sick from it. So Cheryl says, after you open the cheese, how do you keep it from getting mold on it? Well, so you don't, but it should last at least 6 to 8 weeks, at least. After you open it, at least. Tarsha says, I buy frozen pizza when it's on sale for $5 or less. Yes, I do too.
And that's another thing about food going bad. I've noticed a lot of people have huge amounts of food, and that's overwhelming. They think, I can't figure out what to eat. I can't figure out. It gets overwhelming. And what I would advise now for a lot of you is to try to not go to the grocery store for several weeks and just start using the food you have on hand as best. Just say, I'm not going to go for a month, and use that up and get that food under control so that everything's just not packed, in shelves and in the refrigerator and stuff like that.
Can you go run and get the bread out of the fridge for me, Mike?
And so
no, just I already cut it. So
that would help with expiration dates. We get a lot of comments about expiration dates, and it's just, you've just got so much food and you don't know what you have and you're not using it up proper.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Sharon and Julia and Diane and Janet all say that the food audit at the beginning was very, very good prices, and she did a great job shopping. Very good.
Did great.
Thank you, Ashley, for sharing that. So yes, she did I think she did an amazing job.
I do too.
And I'm so glad she showed a vegetarian/vegan, I think it's more vegan, diet, and that it can be done. It can be done if you actually want to. And Susan wants to know, she was shopping for one person. So, I mean, that's fantastic still. So, and several people said she could have breakfast burritos or rice bowls. Yep, that sounds good too. Carol Ann says she loves everything she normally eats and it's all cheap and healthy. Yes, it is. And Under the Median says, we veganize your recipes. Thank you. And listen, like I said again, we have lots of vegan YouTubers and friends. I am not bashing vegans in general. I'm bashing the vegans who keep railing on us that it can't be done, or that you're just lying, that I'm just lying, saying it's not possible. It is possible. So just stop railing on me. Okay, so first of all, my grocery or my cereal sack is what I'm storing it in. Now, I put it in a little too soon, but here it is sliced up right there. That's what it looks like. Now, I made these bigger slices because I am lazy and I don't feel like cooking 2 pieces of bread. I know that's dumb, but you can see here, there's half of the loaf. That's half the loaf right there. Okay. So there you go. And it will rise. Actually, it'll rise a little bit more normally about this, but I did I make it yesterday or I can't remember. Oh yeah, I had to go to the doctor. So I had to get it finished baking before I went to the doctor. So I didn't let it rise all the way, but normally it'll rise about that much more too. So just so you know, I had to cook it soon. And, how often does she shop? I don't know how often she shops. I should ask her that. Okay, let's see. Mackenzie says we're coordinated. Actually, we do that on purpose. I just wait to see what Mom's wearing before I put something on.
Throw something on.
Bert says, I try to cut back and save on groceries, but I still want to buy the most healthy products of well. Well, then go back and watch the beginning of the video. There you go. And Sharon says, are you only counting food you eat? No other items that are bought at the grocery store? No pet food, storage supplies, trash bags, cleaning? No, none of those are food. We don't
now
count
on mine,
those.
I
We
think
don't eat pet food.
some of mine, I think I get stuff at Walmart and I add that in on mine.
Okay, everybody likes your new boyfriend, Mom. We're going to contact him and see if he's available.
And people wonder why I'm not married yet.
Let's see. Dee Dee says, whatever Jill is eating agrees with her. She looks 20 years younger.
Thank you.
Tiny Face says, French girls stay thin because they eat tiny portions. Yes, I know.
Been preaching that for years.
Lori, how do you adjust foods so that you don't eat them for days? I'm asking because she doesn't want to eat what she cooks for the next 4 days.
Oh, so you
like she doesn't want to make a pot of green chili and have to eat it for a week.
Well, you can cut recipes down. I don't think a lot of people, we get this question a lot, and you just
Cut it
have
in half or quarter.
Sometimes I quarter it. So just cut it down. If I make green chilies, I'll just use like 2 tortillas, and I use half a quarter of a can of the green chili stuff or whatever. And you can cut, I keep 2 8-inch pie cake pans, 2 8-inch cake pans, and I just cut the recipe down until whatever fits in there. If I do lasagna, I just cook up like 4 of the lasagna noodles, and then just do a little bit of the tomato, make the sauce, like down into a quarter. So most recipes you can cut way down. Well, if you say that it calls for an egg, how do I cut an egg in half? An egg, I just, it's 2 tablespoons.
Mm-hmm.
And so
an egg is a quarter of a cup normally.
Yeah.
So 2 tablespoons is.
So what I do is I have a little bowl, and I whip it up in the little bowl, and I measure out 2 tablespoons, and I've got a half an egg.
Save the rest in the fridge.
And I save the rest in the fridge for tomorrow or something with scrambled eggs or whatever.
Yep. Are we all stocking up or slow down? I never stop stocking up. As I use my stock, I just replace it with normal. So I just always keep mine on hand.
Me too.
That's
why I keep talking about you need to know what you have for food, because I can see how much tuna I have. But usually I've got mine adjusted well enough that if I eat 1 can, I just write it on my grocery list,
Laura says she loves her Not Just Beans cookbook, which was the original name of our book, guys. Mm-hmm. Yes, our books are on sale for 35% off right now. If you have our Dining on a Dime cookbook, the red one here is volume 1. That is used to be Not Just Beans. I know, stupid name. We've learned a lot in marketing. We've come a long way. So now it's called Dining on a Dime Cookbook. If you have Not Just Beans, there are 40 new recipes in Dining on a Dime over Not Just Beans. Volume 2 is all new recipes. They can be used together or separately, both books. And the gluten-free, dairy-free edition is the green one. And our planners are also 10% off right now, guys. So you can get organized for the new school year. Tanya says she loves our show and such an encouragement, and we make her laugh.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, give me a thumbs up if you want to see my colonoscopy.
I'd love to see Mike videotaping that, asking the doctor if he can videotape it.
I'm going to take a personal day that day.
Excuse me, Doc. I know it's not medically necessary, but could I get a colonoscopy, please? You're the first person to ever ask for one. Oh, it's for research purposes. I want to see how much gum, watermelon seeds, and Vaseline are left in my colon.
The whole hospital being there watching it for this.
See what a B12 shot will do for me. Okay. Melinda says, I am older and I remember what portion sizes for meals were.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sizes are huge now. The fact of the matter is you have diabetes because you are fat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I got gestational diabetes because I was overweight. It's just the fact of life. Type 1, you can get no matter what way you are. But like 90% of the population that has diabetes is type 2. Mm-hmm. And it's your own darn tootin' fault for eating too much stuff. And I know some people get type 2 diabetes without being fat, but it is a very, very minute.
Yeah. And what's interesting is everybody wants to tell the exceptions.
Yeah.
So it can excuse.
Yeah.
them doing.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. And let's see. Mackenzie says, buy all the expensive foods if you want to. If you're in debt and living above your means, then you can't. Yep, exactly.
Mhm.
Shirley says, throughout the horrible Texas heat wave, her thermostat has been at 78, 79. She keeps a box fan going to circulate the air, and her electric bill was $144, far less than some of her neighbors.
Very good.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yep. And I have no idea what this name is, but they said, oddly enough, we were skinny in the 70s in spite of it all.
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
It doesn't have to do with fat. It doesn't have to do with sugar. It doesn't have to do with
Mm-mm.
processed foods.
The
It
healthy
does not have
food.
anything to do
Mm-mm.
with that. They had processed foods in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they
Yeah.
were skinny. It wasn't until the mid to late 80s when all the prosperity started happening,
Mhm.
and people just started eating too darn
Well, and the health,
doing too
the
much.
health stuff started then. You know, it's just like I knew a woman, she was growing her own alfalfa sprouts. And I said this before, and she was mad at me because I was eating butter. And she said I should be eating margarine. It's healthier for you. Everybody knows the healthy stuff now is margarine. And she was sat there telling me this. She was overweight. And sadly to say, she was so busy eating. I mean, she was eating healthy on everything. She died at a very, very young age in her early 50s.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's you've got to be careful and watch, really know what you're doing when you do this stuff.
Somebody was asking what the scroll is. It's actually ribbon that I hot glued on there. So that's what's on my thing. Let's see. Mama Bear says the homemade syrup is very, very yummy. She made it last week. And Shannon says our garlic and cheese biscuits are so good.
Oh,
If
yes.
you like Red Robin, no, not Red Robin.
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster's garlic cheese biscuits. Right here.
And the syrup in there, you
Very
can
good.
make it strawberry syrup or blueberry
Get
syrup.
any flavoring you
any
want.
flavor
You can
you
make
want,
a
or
root beer if you want.
Put in fresh berries if you want.
Well, and I need to do a video on this. All those bottled syrups people buy, that's all it is. It's sugar water with the flavoring. I'm going to do a video making some of that. Actually, I think Friday's video, I think I saw that in her. Yeah. Oh, let me go see real quick. I think I saw that in her stuff. Lynn's going to be like, oh no, I'm not going to be on now. Lynn has been a viewer for a really long time. We love Lynn. Don't worry, Lynn. I won't be too hard on you. But I think, let me see here real quick. Did you, your toilet paper stash there? Oh, I think that's what that is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, Lynn, you gave me a good idea for a video. Okay. More questions real quick, dear. What are your thoughts on the bioengineered additives in our food? Okay. This goes back to the whole thing we were just talking about, the same thing. Okay. I talked to a Stanford chemistry professor. Personally at a soap making conference. For those of you who don't know, I used to make soap. I was trying to get into doing soap. I was actually going to dump Living on a Dime and do soap. But then Living on a Dime took off when that thing going around hit and it went crazy. So I had to stop one or the other. And since Living on a Dime was doing more money, that's what I did. But I went to a soap conference and met Stanford chemistry professor. And we asked him, we said, okay, what about all this stuff? And he said, for the minute amount that's in the foods, it is more stressful on people worrying about it than the food is even going to come close to doing anything to you. He said people need to just stop worrying about it and just stop eating so much food and just take it easy and stop stressing about it. You cannot, listen, bioengineered food is the least of your problems for what stuff is coming up. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're worried about that? Go read Revelation in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
We got some bad stuff coming up. If you are not a Christian and you're not gone by the time Revelation hits, the people that are left, you're going to have some major issues. And let me tell you, bioengineered food is going to be the least of your worries. And it is the least of your worries now. Just stop worrying about it and stop eating so much food. at this point, you cannot read every single label of every single thing you put in your mouth. Now, if you're like Ashlei and you just want to eat really, really clean, that's fine. But you need to scale it back like she has. She has a very streamlined diet. It's all normal foods like rice and popcorn,
Frozen
and
veggies.
wheat, frozen veggies, and just streamline it. If you're worried about it, that's fine. But if you're going and looking on every bag of Oreos, stop eating the Oreos.
Yeah. The
You
stress is going to kill you. Any heart doctor will tell you the stress will kill you way before any bad food that you eat. It will. And like Tara says, it's going to get so much worse. I mean, I don't think you guys really understand.
No, you have no clue what's coming.
Mm-mm.
Let's see. Becca says, I've been going by your program on shopping, stockpiling, Jill's teaching from the series for years now. I have all the books. I've got nothing but good, free. And I think she means debt free from she's free from $54,000 of debt and good health.
Wow.
That's great.
That
you
is
go.
so good.
And Ohio
You guys are doing good.
Says she ordered the cookbook this past weekend and she loaned it to her daughter-in-law. I hope you get it back. Everybody's loving the grocery audits. Thank you guys. Just so you guys know, we are going to be doing this for the next 6 months at least and see how it goes. So far, it's actually going really, really well. So if you guys would like to have your groceries audited, your grocery budget audited, let me know, because the link is in the description below and you can sign up. And if you've signed up, I have sent every person who signed up so far the link on how to send us the footage. So if you did not get anything from me and you've already signed up, let me know. And we'll check your spam filter first and then let me know again, and I'll send it from my other account, because sometimes living on a dime gets blocked because we talk about money. Let's see. Do we have an inventory book? No, I don't. I just look and see what I have for inventory and see what I need to buy and what I don't need to buy. And then how do we determine where to stop stocking? So, I mean, I would do just whatever you have space for. But I mean, if you can get up to a year's worth of food, I think that's great. But even just most people don't even have a week's worth of food in their house. So get, an extra week and then 2 weeks and then 3 weeks. But I would say 3 to 6 months is a good stopping point there. Then you can go through any, like job loss, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Tara, there should be a lemon law in your fridge. Yeah, we're testing. Pistol's having me watch the temperature, and we're at the point now where they may have to give us a new one. So, and Electro Rio, I don't know how you say that. There were processed foods in the 1920s. Yeah, I have a book from like 1928 or something on how to use Crisco because it's so healthy for you.
I know. Well, see, that's it. I'm 72 years old now, and as far back as I can remember, every 10 to 15 years, there's a new food that's bad for you and a new food that's good for you. And then they switch places, That's why I don't listen to any of the diets and everything.
Tennis says, would like to be, but I'm too ashamed of what my house looks like. Listen, do not be ashamed of your cabinets.
No.
As a matter of fact, we're going to do an in-person audit next week, I think, or maybe the week after. Helping someone get their pantry organized because it's just ended up being everything dumped in there. And you guys saw Pam's pantry, and guess what? A viewer went over and helped Pam get her stuff organized.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do a follow-up video on it, but she felt so good. So here's the thing. Just sign up. Guys, don't be embarrassed.
No.
I'm not going to sit here and I don't rail on people for having disorganized houses.
No.
That's a part of life. I mean, it doesn't
Things
matter.
happen.
Yeah.
I always say when I would help organize somebody's house for some reason, the hardest thing was getting them over the embarrassment of having me come over to do it. And once they got past that and I got over there, they were so excited, and because everybody has different times in their life when, things go wrong and stuff.
Well, and I helped a friend this weekend start getting some organized. She's just gotten really far behind. She had something coming up that she needed to get organized for. And so I said, well, let me come over. In 4 hours, we got a huge amount done. Huge amount.
Mhm.
And she was like, oh, this feels so good just to get this stuff cleared out. She said, even the dog is able to chase its tail around in my bedroom again. You know, but it only took us 4 hours to make a huge dent in her stuff. And the biggest part is just getting started.
You know, everybody needs a little bit of help. Like my yard sometimes would be a nightmare. And to me, it's overwhelming. Tara or somebody would come over and they would help me do it. The kids would come over or something, the grandkids, and it was fixed. And it was overwhelming. And then I could keep up on it a lot better, you know, and things like that. We all have these points where, you know, we just need somebody to help us get over that one hurdle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So don't worry about it, because a lot of people, that's just life. And it helps to know that you're not the only one.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll make a lot of people feel better to know that most kitchens don't look like what you see on HGTV. They really don't, or pantries. Mm-mm.
No, they don't.
Except for yours.
Well, that's because we're on TV, so we have to. Yeah. All right, guys, our cookbooks are 35% off. Go check them out while I'm checking the comments here real quick. Mike's going to put that up. 35% off right now. If you need to start somewhere, start with our volume 1 that has all the basic recipes to get you started. And gluten-free, dairy-free is our green one. And then our planners are 10% off. They are in stock. We inadvertently forgot to add our inventory. So, oh, by the way, Bibles are coming on Friday. I forgot to tell you. So if you guys need a Bible, we also give free Bibles.
Also, people have been asking about the Bible studies. And at the end of the thing, when we ask for questions, we don't mind taking Bible questions, you know. So if ever you want, like Friday or, you know, whatever day, when we say, do you have any questions, go ahead and put the Bible questions on, because we don't mind that.
We're just not doing individual. We are not doing any Taiwan Tuesdays. We're not doing any, we're not doing anything but grocery audits, unless I don't have enough people to do grocery audits for. But as long as we have people wanting grocery audits, we are going to do that for 6 months. And that is the direction that we are going for the moment, because I think this is more helpful for people than people going and watching me garage sale. I mean, everybody has garage sales in thrift stores or something. Everybody has something. So
that's the main thrust, but we will do Bible stuff.
Oh, the apricot chicken is a winner.
Yay.
Volume 2, I think. I think that's volume 2. And Rachel says, I just made the garlic cheese biscuits last night. They are also good with your breakfast scramble. Oh, thanks. Random Citizen says, I deboned 20 pounds of chicken quarters after baking them, just like you taught, Tara.
Very good. Very good.
Okay. Guys, we will see you guys next time. Please visit us at livingonadime.com, and we will see you on Friday for our next grocery audit. Have a good night.
Bye-bye, guys. Love you.